We are finally going to be starting a 3D printing curriculum, and I'm super excited along with my kids. So I want to show you guys what we got to start off with and what my first impressions are of this overall curriculum. Hi, I'm Stacey, and I have been wanting to start this 3D printing curriculum since the beginning of the school year, but just could not find the time for it. This semester, I am making it a priority to teach to my kiddos, so I've just got all of the materials we're going to need to get started, and I want to share that with you right now. The 3D printer we have is the Ender 5 series. And again, I don't know a whole lot about 3D printers at all. The reason we got this specific printer is because it was what it was available from our charter school. We did get a few different colors of the PLA filament, and this is what is going to end up creating our 3D creations. And so that my children can log all of the different things that they're working on, I got each of them just a simple graphing notebook. So this way they can keep track, they can create designs on their graph paper, or they can make notes about different things that they're creating in the program. So that is, I think, is going to come in really, really handy. Also, the book 3D Printing for Dummies was recommended to get alongside with this curriculum. So I mean, looking inside, it's, you know, black and white pictures, which isn't bad. So much information. I kind of have realized that these for dummies kind of books are so thick and have so much information. I still feel like I must be dumber than a dummy because I feel like this is still way too much information for me to comprehend. I don't even know where to start. So I'm a little intimidated by this book, and I hope we don't have to use it too much because I'm going to have to be reading, or that I have to read this aloud to my kiddos a whole lot. But I will take a look at it, but at the moment, I'm just not a big fan of having to use this specific book. The last thing we needed to get was a Tinkercad account, and this is actually a free account that you can go on and use, and I've actually used in the past with my kids, and I highly recommend it if you are interested in having your kids learn how to create these 3D models. So even if you don't have access to a 3D printer, your kids can still go on and learn the skills of how to create it in the computer. And then if you do end up buying a 3D printer, or I know that you can check your local library, or even some local public schools may have a 3D printer that you'd be able to use, maybe for a small fee or even for free. So you could always check that out. So you could definitely, even if you don't have a 3D printer or curriculum, you can try the Tinkercad. There are some mini lessons so far that I've been able to see that will walk your kid through how to use the program. I'm super excited about getting to really take a deep dive into this Tinkercad program. The last thing we have available to us is the 3D printing syllabus. Now, this is created by our charter school, and so I can't share that here, but if you are interested, I could try to reach out to the teacher and see if it's possible to somehow get a non-charter school version set out. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you would like me to try to get access to that, or see if they would be willing to share it. So we have all of these materials. Now, what are we going to do? How am I going to implement this curriculum? Well, my goal is to have my kiddos working at least one time a week on the curriculum syllabus. So again, I can't go too in-depth into what the syllabus looks like, but it does utilize Tinkercad and being able to keep track of anything they design, and putting that in their graphing notebook and creating kind of an engineering notebook. So that part is going to be super fun. I have also already added Tinkercad to my kiddos' bookmarks on their school computers. So that way, even if they are not doing the actual 3D printing curriculum, when they have free computer time, they have the option to go into Tinkercad and they can kind of build and just play around with the knowledge that they've already learned. So I'm excited to see what kind of creations they start creating in Tinkercad. So at the end of the semester, I hope to be done with the 3D printing curriculum. And in the summer, I plan on putting out an entire new video of kind of how my experience went and any tips I have for anybody that wants to get started in 3D printing. So if you haven't already, please like this video and then consider subscribing so that you can be notified when any future videos come out so you don't miss that update. So lastly, why 3D printing? Why do I care? Basically, there was a quote that I had just heard recently, and what was said was, if you aren't learning, you're falling behind. And the way the technological world is moving, it is moving so fast. It's so hard to stay up with it. So if you're not constantly learning about what the new technology is, if you just stayed with all the knowledge you have today, you're going to be falling further and further behind. So I kind of am doing that for myself, being able to teach my kids new concepts, but also kind of giving them a leg up as well and making sure that they understand these concepts that, who knows, maybe everybody will have a 3D printer in their house and you can go onto Amazon and just click buy now and it 3D prints the actual product right there in your 3D printer. Wow, that's an idea. Wouldn't that be crazy if that actually happens? And yeah. So anyway, the world is going to all sorts of crazy places and we don't know where it's going. So I want to make sure that I expose my kids to as many futuristic career and job and any skills that they may need in the future. Now, 3D printers have definitely become more accessible to the everyday user and price points are coming down, but at the same time, they're still at a point where it's a pretty hefty cost for a homeschool family. So again, I'm just starting this curriculum. I'm not recommending that everyone needs to go get a 3D printer to teach their kids. So that's definitely not what I'm trying to say here. But I do think that it is important to teach kids these kind of more future career skills. So one skill I do know that you can teach your kids 100% for free is coding. And if you want to know how to teach your kids coding for free, you can check out this video that I created with lots of other resources that even if you don't know anything about coding, you'll be able to teach your kids. And until then, happy homeschooling.